Alright, what is the last step to the order of operations involving decimals and fractions? Okay, the last step to the order of operations involving decimals and fractions is to solve the addition and subtraction from left to right. So for the first expression here, we're going to clear the parentheses by adding 10 and 2/10 and 1 and 15/100. So for 10 and 2/10, we're going to add vertically, and we're going to have a placeholder here for our 2. Right next to our 2 is going to occupy a 0, just as a placeholder. Alright, now 0 plus 5, that's 5. 2 plus 1 is 3. 0 plus 1 is 1, and 1 just simply drops down. So what we're left with is the sum of 11 and 35/100. So now we're going to square 11 and 35/100. So it's 11 and 35/100 times 11 and 35/100. Let's begin the multiplication here. Let's do it vertically. Here we have 5 times 5, that gives us 25. Then we have 3 times 5 plus 2, giving us 17. Drop down the 7, carry over the 1. 1 times 5, that'll give us 5, plus 1, that's 6. And then 1 times 5, that gives us 5. Moving on to our second row, there's going to be 4 rows in total. We'll repeat the process here. So 5 times 3, that gives us 15. Drop the 5 down, carry over the 1. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1, that's 10. Drop the 0, carry over the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1. Drop the 4 here, and then we have 1 times 3, giving us 3. Now let's start the third row. Everything is going to get multiplied by 1, so we can just simply say 11, 1, 1, 3, 5. 11 and 35. Alright, 5 times 1, 3 times 1, 1 times 1, and 1 times 1 again. Okay, moving on to our fourth row. Clean this up here just a touch. We have 5 times 1. Alright, picking up 5 times 1 will give us 5. 3 times 1 gives us 3. 1 times 1 gives us 1, and 1 times 1 gives us 1. Now let's go ahead and start adding all 4 rows now here. We're going to simply drop down the 5 here. 7 plus 5, that'll give us 12. Carry over the 1. Drop the 2. Then we'll have 1 plus 6 plus 5. That gives us 12. Carry over the 1. Drop the 2. Then we have 1 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 5, giving us 18. Drop the 8. Carry over the 1. Then we have 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3, giving us 8. Next we have 1 plus 1, giving us 2. And then we have 1 simply dropping down. So let's clean this up just a touch here. Alright, now we're going to count the amount of place values on the right of each factor We have 4 in total. That entitles us to 4 jumps here from left to right. From right to left on our sum, on our product actually. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we have a decimal place value. Now let's rewrite the expression here. Alright, we're going to have 128.8225. So if you notice the position, if you was to take into consideration where this 128 and 8,225 10,000s, it's on our right side of the subtraction, which means that we're going to ultimately come out with a negative number here. So let's kind of use 13 and 5/10 and start placing place values here to accommodate our 10,000s. So we're going to write 3 zeros right over here. Same number. We're just adding zeros so we can subtract comfortably and stay organized. All right, here we go. So let's subtract vertically and not forget the negative sign at the end. All right, so 5 minus 0 is 5. 2 minus 0 is 2, and 2 minus 0 is 2. All right. 8 minus 5, well, that's 3. 8 minus 3, that's 5. 2 minus 1 is 1, and then 1 just simply drops down. So recall that this negative sign right here, this subtraction sign, will give us a difference, a negative difference. So at the end of the equation, we're left with negative 115 and 3,225 10,000ths.